Good morning, class. This is Mrs. Bernard teaching economics for SS2. In our last lesson, we learned about budget, balanced budget, and unbalanced budget. We also learned about surplus and deficit budget. We also talked about national or public debt. We also discussed reasons why government borrows money. We also talked about ways of financing deficit budget. We also spoke about revenue allocation, and obstacles to effective revenue allocation in Nigeria. We also talked about population census and when last Nigeria has ever witnessed such again. Now in today's lesson, we'll be talking about elements of national income accounting. Now, for today's lesson, what is national income accounting? National income accounting may be defined as the ways or means of determining the money value of the total volume of goods and services produced. Or you can also say national income accounting is the total income earned in a given country over a period of time, usually a year. Now we have major national economic concepts or components. Number one is the gross domestic product, which is known as the GDP. Gross domestic product may be defined as the total money value of all the goods and services produced in a country at a particular period of time, but excluding net income from abroad. In calculating the GDP, emphasis on earnings from citizens and foreign investment within the country. Earnings of citizens and their investment abroad are excluded from GDP. GDP is used to measure the rate of growth of the economy. We have the gross national product, which is the GNP. Now, GNP may be defined as the total money value of all the goods and services produced in a country in a year plus the net income from abroad. GNP takes care of the total money value of all the goods and services produced by citizens of a country. It excludes the contributions of foreigners to the GDP and includes the earnings of the citizens of a given country residing abroad. Mathematically, GNP is calculated as GDP plus net income from abroad. In other ways, if you want to calculate the GDP, which is the gross domestic product, it can be calculated from that formula, making GDP the subject of the formula. That means for you to get GDP is going to be GNP minus net income from abroad. Number 3 says net national product, which is the NNP. Net national product may be defined as the money value of the total volume of production, that is the gross product. The gross product after allowance has been made for depreciation. In other words, the net national product is the gross national product less the estimated amount of depreciation of capital consumed during the year. Mathematically, NNP is calculated as GNP minus depreciation. Number 4, we have national income. Now, national income may be defined as the money value of the total volume of goods and services produced or the total income earned in a given country over a period of time, which is usually a year. National income is also the total of all the income obtained from economic activities during a specific period, which is usually a year, after the allowance has been made for capital consumption. We have the personal income. Now, the personal income may be defined as the income or amount of money received by individuals or households over a given period of time. We have per capita income. Now, per capita income is also called income per capita. Is defined as the average income of the individual in a given period of time, usually a year. Per capita income can be obtained by dividing the national income by the population of the country in that year. For example, per capita income for the year 1995 can be calculated as national income for 1995 over a population for 1995. Per capita income serves as an economic indicator of the level of the standard of living and development. We have real income. Now, real income may be defined as money in terms of goods and services it will buy. Real income is a national income expressed in terms of general level of prices. Now, don't forget, we also have disposable income. Disposable income, sorry about that, it will show on the screen. Now, disposable income, which we discussed in our last lesson when we were learning about taxation, where I told you that disposable income is the amount of money that is left to an individual or an organization after he or she has paid his tax. That is disposable income. Now, when taxes are deducted from an individual personal income, what is left is called disposable income, which can be spent or saved by the individual or the household it may concern. Now, this takes us to factors that determine the national income of a country. We have the availability of availability of natural resources. A country with abundance of natural resources will experience increase in the national income than a country with little or no natural resources. We have level of technology. A higher technological development will improve or increase in national income. We have industrial development. Industrialization also influences national income. The presence of industries or increased industrial activities can contribute positively to national income. We have working population. A country with a high working population is likely to increase national income than a country with a low working population. Economic situation. The economic situation of a country can influence the national income, while economic stability promotes or increases national income. Economic instability decreases it. Nature of factors of production. Of course, we all know that without factors of production is never complete. Now, the availability of the factors of production, such as capital, labor, land, and entrepreneur, will enhance the national income of a country. We have political situation. Political stability in any country can contribute positively to the national income, while political instability reduces it. Now, what are the uses of national income? We have economic planning. Now, national income provides the basic and comprehensive data on the contribution of various sectors of the economy to national output. Influences foreign investors. It attracts foreign investment to a country based on the level of its national income. As investors usually see countries with rich or fast-growing markets. Assessment of economic performance. The national income statistics are used in assessing the performance of the economy in order to know the effectiveness or utilization of the productive resources. We have measurements of standard of income. It shows the general level and prosperity of the people over a given period of time, usually a year. We have redistribution of income. It enables government to design policies towards redistributing national income and the allocation of resources and revenue among sectors within the nation. Number 6 says index of classification. It is used for classifying nations into developed nations and the developing ones in respect of their standard of living. We have estimation of assets and liabilities. It is also used to estimate the liabilities and assets of a nation. We have contribution of a nation into international organization. It equally determines the level of contribution of a nation into international organizations, as countries with more per capita income are expected to contribute more than the poor ones. Where for future forecasts, the national income data are used to forecast future rates of economic growth and development. We have basics of supply of technical aids to needy countries. It can also be used as the basic of supply of technical aid and assistance to the needy nations. International organizations tend to give more technical assistance to poorer nations, and this is usually identified by comparing the per capita income of nations. Now, this takes us to reasons for measuring national income. Reasons for measuring national income. Now, countries measure their national incomes for various reasons. This can include, number one, it shows the standard of living. National income gives an indication of the standard of living of a country through the measure of capita income. Number two, it determines the growth rate of the economy. Its contribution to the international organization. The national income figure determines the country's contribution to international organization for comparing standard of living with other countries. It also helps for economic policies and planning. It also gives patterns of expenditure of household. Performance of the various sectors of the economy. Measured through output approach, it enables the country to know the performance of the various sectors of the economy. Now, what are the problems of computing national income? What are the problems of determining national income? Now, the problems that can be encountered in the measurement and compilation of national income in Nigeria include insufficient technical experts, problem of double counting, subsistence production, problems of inflation, inability to quantify some services, difficulties in estimating net valuation, improper valuation of depreciation, ignorance and illiteracy, incomplete information, and illegal transaction. Now, what are the methods of measuring national income of a country? Now, the method of measuring national income of a country are, we have income method. Now, this is obtained by adding incomes received by all the factors of production. The incomes to be added include workers' earning, that is wages and salary, profit from entrepreneurs, rents on land, interest from capital, etc. However, in order to avoid double counting, transfer of payments such as payments to old people, beggars, etc. are not included. They are part of people's income which are already counted. The income which is included must be that which arises from the production of goods and services. There must be something given out in return for a payment. We also have the output method. Now, this method measures the total money value of all goods and services produced in the country in a year. In order to avoid double counting, the figures are collected on the basis of value added. Value added is defined as the value of output less cost of input. In this method, national income is measured by adding together the value of enterprises, which include individuals, firms, and the government. Output method is also called net product or added value method. Now, we have the expenditure method. Now, the expenditure output calculates the total amount spent on consumption and investment. Now, expenditure method. The expenditure method calculates the total amount spent on consumption and investment purposes during the year. In other words, it measures the total expenditure on currently produced final goods and services by individuals or households. firms and government plus net exports. Transfer payments such as payment paid to retired workers, gifts to beggars, etc. are excluded. Now, the formula for calculating national income using expenditure approach or method is NI, which is what? National income, is equal to C plus I plus G plus X brackets X minus M close brackets plus subsidies minus taxes minus depreciation. That is the formula for calculating national income of a country in a year. Now, according to that formula, you might be wondering, what is C, what is I, what is G, X, M? I will explain that. Now, NI is for national income, while that C stands for private consumption expenditure. Please, Olivia, who told you? I'm recording here now. You're making noise. Take them to the other side. Now, C stands for private consumption expenditure, I stands for private investment expenditure, G stands for government expenditure on consumption and investment, S stands for export, M stands for import. Now, I'm going to explain that formula with example. Now, the example says the following is the trading account for Nigeria in the year 1978 in millions. It says A, citizens private expenditure 35 million, government expenditure on goods and services 15.6 million, various stocks at home 11.8 million, export income from abroad 13.5 million, export income paid abroad 10.4 million, taxes on expenditure 7 million, capital consumption 5.8 million, general subsidies 1.3 million. Now, from the information given above, calculate the national income for Nigeria for the year 1978. The first thing you do is to write out your formula for calculating the national income of a country in a particular year, which is NI is equal to C plus I plus G plus open bracket X minus M close bracket plus subsidies minus taxes minus depreciation. Now, back to that, your C is what? A 35 million. It's 35 million, which is citizens private expenditure, while your I is 11.8 million, which is what? Private investment expenditure, which is what? The stock at home. Now, the G is what? 15.6 million, which is what? The G stands for government expenditure on goods and services, while your X is what? The export, which is what? 13.5 million in the bracket, minus M, which is what? For what? Imports, which is what? 10.4 million close brackets. Now, you have the subsidized there. The subsidized is mentioned there already. General subsidized, which is what? 1.3 million. We also have minus what? taxation. The taxation, you can see taxes on expenditure, which is 7 million. We also have the last one, which is depreciation, which is what, 54 million. 54 million, you can see it, 54 million. Okay, sorry, the depreciation is 5.8 million, which is what, the capital consumption, which is 5.8 million. Now when you substitute all these values in your formula, you do the calculation, you will surely get your national income as what, 54 million. That is how far we can go for today's class. Now that takes us to the assignment of today's lesson. The assignment says the following is the trading account for Nigeria in the year 1984 in million. It says citizens' private expenditure is 40 million. Government expenditure on goods and services is 17.5 million. Various stocks at home, 10.75 million. Export income from abroad, 12.50 million. Import income paid abroad, 11.7 million. Taxes on expenditure, 9 million. Capital consumption, 6.2 million. General subsidies, 0.75 million. Now from the information given above, calculate the national income for Nigeria for that year 1984. All you have to do is to write out your expenditure method, which is what we learned today. Your expenditure method, you write out the formula and start substituting the values in its right position. I bet you will finally get the correct value for national income for Nigeria in the year 1984. That is how far we can go for today's class. Have a blessed day. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you to submit your soft assignment. You send it, snap and send it to my WhatsApp number 0033 95 1500. Thank you for today's class and have a blessed day.